It's Christmas time, and that means things can get a little hectic. So, your two favorite jolliest assholes this side of the nut house have something special for you for the holidays. So stay tuned right here
At the bar with Stave and Slide.
Welcome back to At the Bar with Stave and Slide. Dan,
Corey.
and we are here for the holidays.
That's right.
Now, we have a few cocktails for you to help get you through the holiday season. Now, during the holidays, of course, we talked about it during Thanksgiving, and especially during Christmas, we love to get together, and, we love to have family over, and with that comes food and comes cocktails.
Got to keep relaxed so you can,
Exactly.
ease the tension of that's built up getting ready for the event and keep everybody entertained. And then, if you're outside, you got to stay warm.
For sure. Probably, you probably have some friends over, probably got some family over, and so you have to stay lubricated.
Yeah.
And we have a few things to help you do just that. We're going to start off with one called Santa's Dimples.
Dimples with a D.
Dimples with a D. So this one comes out of a book here, Making Spirits Bright. A couple of the ones that we're going to make for you today come out of this book. And this is going to use one of our favorite ingredients, and it's interesting, is green chartreuse.
Yeah. So green chartreuse traditionally is difficult to find, as you know.
Yeah, it has become increasingly more difficult to find recently. Right?
It has.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what green chartreuse is, it's an herbal liqueur. It's made in the Alpine region of France.
Yep, French Alps.
By a small sect of monks, the Carthusian monks, I believe is what it is.
Yeah.
And in the last few years, now, like I said, it was difficult to find anyway. In the last couple of years, they published a letter through their distributor that said they're going to refocus themselves on their faith and their religious studies and their prayer, and they were only going to produce enough to keep the mission, the monastery, funded. So kind of everybody panicked because they thought that was going to be big cuts. And really, I think at least around here, I have been able to find it fairly regularly.
We have, yeah.
At least one or two stores. So maybe that was a poorly worded letter and they've actually ramped up production. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
But it is, I do hear in other places it's more difficult to find.
Depends on where you are.
But it's a very interesting flavor profile, but it adds some great notes to a cocktail. So let me ask you, Dan, what would you recommend for folks that can't find a green chartreuse?
A couple other substitutes. The best substitute for if you can't find green chartreuse would be like the Dolin Genepi. Okay. Which is also an herbal liqueur from France. So that'd be your best closest substitute. You can also use Benedictine in a pinch if you can't find or you don't have the Genepi. But the Genepi is going to be the best substitute for the chartreuse.
Yeah, same, closest in production region and flavor profile. I think that we could tell. So there is also a yellow chartreuse. You could probably use the yellow chartreuse. The yellow, I have not had the yellow. Have you had the yellow?
I have. It's been a while, but yeah, I have.
So as I understand it, the yellow is sweeter. Yeah. Sweeter, lighter, less pungent on the herbal, but same basic herbs used. Just a little less. I don't know, whatever they do, and it's supposed to be sweeter. So maybe that's easier to find in your area. It's easier to find the yellow. But just use the yellow. But
we've got the green chartreuse, so we're going to go ahead and get started with Santa's Dimples.
Yep.
This is going to be mixed. Means we're going to do this one in the mixing glass over ice. The green chartreuse. We're also going to use some apple juice, some bourbon. Let's do 4 Roses with this guy. Oh, I haven't opened this one.
You got an open one on the shelf?
No, not of the plain. It's all right. Fresh bottle. Do some 4 Roses. And we're gonna top this guy off with some club soda, mint garnish. Let's get started. Okay, so we are going to start off with 1.5 ounces of our bourbon. Equal parts for our apple juice, 1.5 ounces. And we're doing just a splash of our green chartreuse. That'll be my splash. Oh, I'm gonna do another little splash because I want a little more green.
It's a hefty splash.
Hefty splash, yeah. Let's go ahead and mix that up. And then we'll put some ice in the glass. And strain. Maybe I'll top with much club soda. And just a touch club soda in there. And then we're going to garnish this with some mint. And since this is Santa's Dimples, in the middle of Santa's Dimples, we got his bright red nose. I'm gonna plop that in there. And that is Santa's Dimples. And give that a shot.
Oh, I went the cherry. Straight to the bottom. That's lovely.
Yeah.
But I think with having the mint, the aromatics of the mint, it really influences the chartreuse, I think.
Sure.
So, chartreuse, the green chartreuse can be a little heavy on one herb or the other, but this way it comes with the mint in there. It comes across with a mintier note than normal, I think. But yeah, that's delicious. That's a great tummy warmer.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Santa's Dimples, and we're going to move on to the next one. Next up is the Blizzard, which also comes out of Making Spirits Bright.
It does.
Yes. Now I've modified this a little bit because that's what I do. That's what I do. So I am adding, So the Blizzard has bourbon, cranberry juice, some simple syrup, and it also calls for, what else does it? Rosemary garnish, whatnot. I am changing it up a little bit. I'm taking out the simple syrup and I'm throwing in this cranberry pie syrup from Hipstirs. Now, you've tasted this before, and this is delicious.
It is.
So this adds a really, really nice cranberry note, and it also gets like a little nuttiness that I get from it. So very different. I'm gonna dial it back a little bit from the ounce of simple that this recipe calls for and do a little less of this cranberry pie syrup because I don't think it needs quite as much, but this stuff is fantastic. And like I said, I'm gonna add some smoked cinnamon bitters, and like I said, I like to change things up a little bit, and I think my little twists have made this a little bit of a better cocktail. So
let's get into it.
We're gonna shake this one. So let us get started. we'll add some ice to our shaker. Now, this recipe, I didn't even change this up. This calls for 2 1/4 ounces of bourbon. So it's like it was reading my mind.
That's, yeah, written for you.
Yeah, Dan pour. Dan pour on the bourbon.
And some.
So this is right up my alley. So what I'm just gonna go a little bit over this 2-line mark there. Bam.
Welcome to the party, Mr. Craig.
Bam. We're using Elijah Craig Small Batch. It's fantastic bourbon for mixing cocktails. I love it. We are using 1.5 ounces of cranberry juice. And I'm gonna do about 1/2 ounce of this holiday, this Hipstirs cranberry pie syrup.
Yeah, it's pretty it's packed full of flavor. So
It really is. It's delicious.
It's fairly sweet. So I think
Right there, like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have this, you can use simple syrup.
yeah,
And you can maybe dial up the cranberry flavor with some cranberry bitters or whatnot. Maybe muddle some cranberries in this if you want to add a little bit of the cranberry
yeah. I
flavors.
mean, you could just make a cranberry simple syrup on your own.
You
It's
absolutely can do that.
just a simple syrup that you add fresh cranberries to flavor it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this stuff is great. And we're going to also get some fresh lemon juice, about 1/2 ounce. And since we're going to use lemon juice in our next cocktail, I'm just going to go ahead and get a good bit going here in this guy. Okay, we need 1/2 ounce. I need about half of what I got there. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. And I said I was adding smoked cinnamon bitters.
Yeah. That's pretty convenient. I like that.
Yeah. Let's not make a liar out of me. I've actually put the bitters in there. Okay.
Yeah, those smoked cinnamon bitters have been featured in several of our
Yep, aren't they great?
cocktails this season. Yeah.
Let's go put this to the side. All right. Shake this up. All right. What glass did we say we wanted to use for this one?
I think it was very similar to
To the last one?
the last one. I
Okay.
think. Yeah, because we're adding some
This may
garnish to. Yeah.
fill it up. I think. Let's see how this goes.
I like the color on that.
Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Nice cranberry color. Get right up there. And then this one, we are going to garnish with a sprig of rosemary and some fresh cranberries. And that is the Blizzard. Gonna give that a shot.
All right. That's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cranberry note. Not just from the cranberry juice, but from the cranberry pie bitters is, I think, just the right sweetness. I
Yeah.
think if it would have done more than what you put in there, it'd have been.
You don't want to make it overly sweet.
Yeah, it would've been overly
you want that flavor. You want a little bit of that sweetness. I mean, this is the holidays, so we're indulging ourselves. But you see just the color here. I mean, this looks like Christmas, right? It
does.
You got that rosemary sprig coming out, and you got those cranberries. Like, the presentation in this is beautiful. It looks great in the glass. It tastes like the holidays.
We did one at Thanksgiving time, and we had commented that it would be a nice
presentation on the table,
on
right?
the table, and this is right there.
Yeah. You know, and the glassware, of course, you know, looks great and all that. It's just, it's great.
Yeah, and it's delicious.
Yep.
Yeah, give it a try.
We got another one coming up for you.
Be right back.
Okay, next up is the Muddled Pine.
That's a good one.
It is. Now, I stumbled across this several years ago, and this quickly became like my favorite holiday cocktail. Now, originally, this calls for gin.
Right.
And this is one of those, like, when all the ingredients come together, it's like a perfect cocktail because all of the flavors just come together just amazingly. The gin and another ingredient that I'm going to talk about in just a second that just goes so well with the gin because, you know, made with the juniper and all that, just pairs together so fantastic. And then with the cranberries that you put in there, that's what you end up muddling, the muddled pine. And if you haven't gotten it by the name, with the pine, there's some pine note flavors in there. And it is just a fantastic cocktail, and it screams the holidays. And it was so good. I sent it to a buddy of ours that we used to work with. You remember Travis?
Yeah.
And him and his wife, they started making them every night of the week. They enjoyed it so much. So fantastic cocktail. We are going to change it up a little bit though. We're going to make this with bourbon. Now, the muddled pine calls for the use of a different ingredient that we may not be familiar with, and that's pine syrup.
Yeah, this is another one. This is two now. It's a little bit difficult to find.
A little difficult.
Go ahead.
So now, here's the thing. When I started making this originally, I was making my pine syrup.
That's what I was gonna say. You can make your own. You can go out on YouTube just like anything else, and there's half a dozen different methods of making it. Some are faster than others, but I found this on Amazon.
Yeah, so we have a commercial version. There's a couple of them out there. This is, I can't read what's on the label.
The Russian version.
So yeah, this looks like it came somewhere out of Russian, and it has little pine cones in it. So this is some legit pine syrup. It's got little pine cones in it. Pretty good stuff. Now I will say the pine flavor in this, and I have one as well that's a different brand that I also got a pine syrup, and it is nowhere near as pronounced pininess as the syrup that I made.
Yeah, it's subtle.
And now here's what I did when I was first making this cocktail, and we were making it, of course, during the holidays. We used to be real tree people. That's what we did. We'd go out and a couple times we did the cut the tree down thing. That ended up being a little bit more of a pain. Or we go to the tree lot, pick out our tree. Really enjoyed that, but we go away for Christmas, after the holidays to visit grandparents, in-laws, and then by the time we get back after that, the tree's dead. Yeah. So a couple years ago we ended up transitioning to the artificial tree. So what I did though, when we had the real tree, when I would do the trimming of it, and I would cut it down and trim off the bottom of that, and any little of the bottom branches that I needed to get it looking right, I would take those needles, those leftover pine needles, and I would use that to make my pine syrup. Sure. So you can easily make a regular 2-to-1 simple syrup, and you can do that like you normally would on the stove, and then you can just strip those branches of those pine needles, throw it on in your syrup, and let it steep there for a couple hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And then strain it out, and you have a very pine flavor pronounced syrup, and it's delicious.
Yeah. So there's always a little risk when you're doing stuff with pine.
There is.
I think the method he's talking about, you're okay. You're not using, you're not ingesting ridiculous amounts of any kind of.
Yep. It is something to be concerned, to be cognizant of though when you're using the pine stuff, and you're using, to make sure that you're not getting any of those toxins or whatnot. But so in the interest of safety or whatever, if you don't want to go that route and make the syrup, there are some commercially available products here that we have found and we are using. And like I said, since I'm no longer going out and chopping down a tree, and I got the fake one, I can't use those. I'm definitely not using those.
Yeah, it wouldn't taste the same.
That'd probably be a whole lot more unsafe. So we're using the commercial version. Now, what I am doing to help get some more of those extra piney flavors is I have these woodland bitters. These are delicious. These have a great pine scent. Go and smell that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I add a little bit more of this. Gets a little bit more of that pine note in there. Kicks it up a bit. So that's a little bit more of my addition here to the muddled pine. Then I'm also throwing in a couple of dashes of these holiday pie bitter smell guapo, because those are fantastic.
Yeah, those are real
we
good.
like those. So let's get started with our bourbon muddled pine.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, let's get our shaker.
I've not had this with bourbon yet.
Yeah, it's good. We're gonna take about 15 fresh cranberries. Just throw them right there in your shaker there, and see, it's in there good. This is about 1 ounce of our pine syrup, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so 1 ounce of our pine syrup
This
is in
is
there.
so thick you might want to
It really is.
scrape that.
So let's help that out. Wow, look at that. Okay. Okay, then we need 1 ounce of lemon juice. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more in our little squeezer guy here. That looks about right. Okay. And then we're going to muddle. Okay, and then I'm going to do a couple of nice droppers here of our woodland bitters. Again, I'm trying to add just some more of this pininess. Again, if you do it, if you make the real pine syrup, like from real needles,
Yep.
you get a very strong, pronounced. Couple dashes of our El Guapo holiday pie bitters.
And I think the big difference between what we're using and what you've made, I think this is pine cone syrup,
Yeah,
and you used
pine needle syrup.
Yeah.
Sure, very different product, right? Yeah.
It still has the pine overtones to it, but not as predominant as what you made.
And 2 ounces of our bourbon. We're throwing Wild Turkey 101 into this. Okay, that's some ice. Okay, and I have my Barfly double strainer here, so that's going to come in handy with all of those cranberry bits.
And maybe a wayward pine cone or two.
Yeah, if any of those stowaways got in there, we definitely want to make sure those don't get in there.
Not cooperative.
Yeah, I don't want to stand up. I wanted to be standing up. It's not gonna happen. There it goes.
All right. If you can see that, I'm going to show them real quick.
Okay.
Dan has made these lovely
Decorative ice.
decorative ice cube. And he wanted it to stand up and
Yeah.
sit right. So
Cooperate. You will listen to me.
that looks nice.
Very nice. Strain that in there. And then we top this off with some lemon lime soda using Sprite. And something to note, when Corey was making these not too long ago, he used that the holiday like seasonal Sprite with cranberry.
Cranberry, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a nice touch
It's
too.
really nice. It just
Adds a little
brought it all together
extra
well.
flavor.
Yeah.
So pretty tasty, pretty delicious. I think that was a nice touch that you put on there. And that is the Bourbon Muddled Pine.
Me again.
Yeah, give that a try.
All right. I almost like that better
Yeah. Than the gin?
than the gin.
Yeah. The gin is so good too, yeah.
It is. It's fabulous. And I'm not a big gin drinker, but it is really good.
Yeah.
But I think the bourbon just brings a little, I don't know, it just changes the note to it, obviously.
Sure.
And yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, I love this cocktail. Now, the Muddled Pine, originally I found that on liquor.com. It's not on the website anymore, but you can find it on like videos of it on the website. I don't know who originally came up with it. I don't know who to credit. Whoever you are, thank you, because it's fantastic. I love it. It's a great cocktail, but this is the bourbon version. We changed it up a little bit, and I think I agree. I think I like this even better.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, turned out real well.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
There you go. So we made Santa's Dimples. We made a little modified version of the Blizzard. Both of those came out of Making Spirits Bright. This is a great book with a lot of different holiday cocktails in it. And then we finished it off with kind of my version, the bourbon version of the Muddled Pine, which is a great cocktail. All of these are some fabulous holiday drinks here that you can make for your cocktail menu. Great for entertaining, great for just enjoying by yourself. I made some of these last night just by myself enjoying them. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so hope that you enjoyed.
Yeah, they're delicious. I'm looking forward to adding those to my my cocktail list at home.
Definitely. And this ice here, it's super easy to do. So it's worth the extra step. All you do is, if you have your ice molds, throw the cranberries in there and the rosemary, whatever, and add your water and throw it in there. And it's super easy to do. And it looks great. The presentation's awesome. But we hope you enjoyed spending a little bit of your time during the holidays with us with these delicious cocktails. And maybe you give them a try. And hope that you enjoyed.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll be back with another video in a day or two.
Yep. We got one more special one coming up. Something to top the night off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until next time, cheers from Stay and Slide.